The messages that I deliver aren't for everyone. I realize that and don't expect it. As with anything that we're exposed to in life, make the conscious effort to choose what you will receive into your psyche, into your being, into your spirit, and what you will not receive. But always make it a conscious effort. Don't leave yourself wide open to absorb and take in anything and everything that's out there, because everything and anything that's out there is not good for you. Having said that, some people might ask, why am I posting images of my younger self with messages? And the reason is, I am giving that younger me the opportunity that she did not have to speak her truth, to speak her mind. It is a spiritual exercise, and not a frugal one, and it's not in vain. What a lot of people don't know, because again, our world and our society is built on keeping us so busy, we don't have time to think. By keeping us so disconnected with one another and life in general, we are completely disconnected for the spiritual realms. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. When this body dies, we do not cease to be. We continue to be who we are. This is school. This is a place for us to learn and grow. And whatever lessons and things that we don't learn and grow here, we may not have the opportunity, and definitely not the same kinds of opportunities, to learn and grow in the spiritual realms. Everyone has different portions. Everyone isn't given the same amount. Back to, you can hear my geese in the background. They want me to make popcorn. Everyone doesn't have the same gifts. Everyone doesn't have the same measure of gifts, even if they have gifts that are alike. Each and every one of us is individual. Everyone doesn't develop the gifts and skills and abilities that they have. Graveyards are full of talent, ambition, skills, abilities, inspiration, divine inspiration that have never been realized. So each of us on our individual journeys, we have to make that time, that effort, to make those connections, to develop those connections if they're already there naturally, and to grow, to be the best version of ourselves God created us to be. No carbon copies, no emulations, no simulations, no forgeries. Just you, the best version of you were meant to be. All of us have scars and bruises and have been scorched by the fires of this life, this timeline, this realm of existence. We all are battered and bruised and somewhat broken, one way or another, no matter what level of class we are, no matter what we do or do not have in life. We all have our bruises, our injuries, our hurts, our disappointments. Each and every one of us. And a very productive and fruitful exercise spiritually is to reflect back on some of the most traumatic events in your life. Not to relive it the way people do who talk about it over and over and over again and not letting it go. Actually, this form of an exercise helps you to let it go by identifying what aspects of it actually harmed you and hurt you. Because sometimes our greatest triumphs and our greatest lessons begin as a very unpleasant, stressful, and at times hurtful event in our lives that was needed to take place to move us from one level of existence and experience to another. Sometimes because we're stubborn and we're holding on to something that, or someone or something that was meant to be in our lives only for a time and then move on. But we've gotten attached and we won't let go. But we cannot progress while we still hold to this thing, and at times it is ripped away from us so that we can move forwards. Sometimes it's preparatory in terms of the experiences that you're learning at this stage, even though they may seem to be senseless. You will draw on those experiences later on. And having had those experiences to draw on will ensure your success at a later point in time. God sees everything from the whole picture, beginning to end to beginning. We only see small portions. We can't see all the things that is being laid out, all the things that have to take place for us to move from point A to point B to point C, etc. Now, time isn't linear. Time, past, present, and future all exist at the same time, within the same realm. It is separated by, I don't want to use the word veil, because a veil is something thicker. The membrane or the veil is so thin, like a soap bubble. It is strong, but what divides time, past, present, and future, is so thin. We cannot pass through it in our present forms, but the spirit, because your spirit is energy. Everything is energy. But matter is a denser form of energy. That we can actually send messages back in time, to a time and place and space. We can actually influence the past to some extent. It is very limited, without stepping outside of the laws of God and doing something too drastic. But it is possible. Energy does not cease to exist. And energy can travel anywhere it wants to travel, including through timelines. What I am doing is sending messages to my younger self. My mother passed away when I was 14 years old. Even though God blessed me with magnificent, powerful, strong, educated women to fill her shoes and to step into her place at critical points in my life, they still could never replace my mother. Now that I am a grandmother, some of my grandchildren are adults now. I can act as a mother figure or a big sister to my younger self. What would I have told my younger self of what I've learned and what I know now? I would not attempt to change the events of the past, because the events of the past make me who I am. I would not have done the things that I've done, seen the things that I've seen, learned the things I've learned, know the people that I know now, if I changed the events of the past. That I don't want to do. And that is also stepping into a realm of stepping outside of the laws of nature and the laws of God. However, I can send positive affirmations, positive messages back to my younger self, reassuring her that she's on the right path, reassuring her that this too shall pass, no matter how much it hurts or how bad it may feel. Trust the process. It's going to be all right. Not only will you come through the situation and circumstance, you will flourish from it. Everyone has experienced deja vu at some point in their life, where you're in a situation or circumstance where you either meet a person or you're doing something and you have the sense of and the knowledge of, I've done this before. I even know what's going to happen next. That's because your older self contacted your younger self, or is in communication with your higher self who's already been there and done that. That's a good thing. Because at that moment in time, you are connecting to your higher self, your self that is beyond the limitations of this body and this realm that we live in. Again, that is a good thing. But as I said before, this kind of a message isn't for everyone. Everyone is not spiritually mature enough to even begin to perceive many of the messages that I give or will give. However, it will not stop me from speaking truth or truths, because there are people who can receive it and understand it, learn from it, grow from it, benefit in some way from it. And I don't do anything randomly. That's not my nature. Everything I do, every word I speak is purposeful, even in anger. So, in answer to some of the questions that I've received in terms of why am I posting images of my younger self with messages? It is a spiritual exercise. It is a spiritual gift to my younger self, giving her the voice she did not have, but should have always had.